Yes, y'all. Welcome into another edition of the Dumb Marks Podcast, episode 214. Back at it again today. It's your favorite Saturday brunch bunch, triple threat edition, the Oreo cookie edition. You know how we get down. Gentlemen, how we living, how we feeling, how we breathing.
Feeling good.
Feeling good, man.
Feeling good.
Feeling good, feeling great.
Yes.
You almost got ignored this morning, man. You called and I seen that S. I rolled over and I was like, looks like scam likely to me. I saw that S.
Robocall.
Yeah, man, this guy. Wow, coming in hot with the diss. I called Donald first, and I'm like, hey, any chance you can jump on early so we can record the other segments we do before we go live instead of doing them after the show? I got some stuff going on today. He's like, yeah, cool. I'm like, look, it's about 10:15. I don't know if Jason's up or not, but we'll see if we can get him.
I was in the middle of a nap.
And I called, and it was like, ring, 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 1. Ring, 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 2. Ring, 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 3. And I got to the 4th, and all I heard was, yo. And I'm like, any chance you can get on? Yeah. 10:30? All right, cool. 10:30. All right. So, yeah. It's your old napping ass up. 10:30. Who takes a nap at 10:30 in the morning?
Hey.
You know me, I'm up watching College Game Day, so I'm like, I'm up.
Yeah. So before we get started, what I said right before we go live on air as part of Wrestling Roulette, take that off. I got other 6 options to go with, so you can include that one later on if you want, Jay. That's up to you, right?
Okay.
Little behind baseball talk there. So you know the deal. Live and at it again, breaking down everything from the world of pro wrestling that was this past week. As always, we got our Mount Rushmores and our mushes of the week, the best and worst of the week. We got a little wrestling roulette for you guys. As you know the drill, 1 through 6, throw out numbers there, and we got topics to go over and discuss to break down, add a little additional flavor to your ear, a la Craig Mack. And then we got a game to wrap up the show with a little bit of a Survivor Series theme to it. All right. So with that being said, let's kick it off with a little wrestling roulette. Since I woke Jay up from his nap, we will go ahead and let him pick first. Pick a number 1 through 6, Jay.
Give me 2.
All right, number 2. So this week it was announced that the Young Bucks will be inducted into the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame. CM Punk received 36 votes, so he was 36 votes away from being elected, and Cody Rhodes was 54 votes away from being elected to the Wrestling Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame. Do any of you care about this Hall of Fame? And why is it a thing?
No, I don't care about it because all 3 are still active.
Man, you'd have thought my timeline, as soon as it was announced, everybody was like, oh, that's it. They're the greatest tag team of all time. They're the greatest tag team of all time. Just cement them. Look at everything they've done.
Now, how does it? Is it one per person? Is it one ballot member per year?
So
or
you have everybody has this. Everybody has the same ballot. It's like the Baseball Hall of Fame, where you got to hit a certain threshold of votes to be elected and approved for the Hall of Fame. I'm not sure what the percentage or total votes is for the Observer Newsletter Hall of Fame, but the Young Bucks, I believe, were the only ones that I saw announced as actually making it to be inducted.
The fact that Punk didn't make it is, I'm automatically just tossing away the credibility.
He was 36 votes away from making it. So, like, what's your threshold there?
Again, all 3 are still active.
Yeah.
And how many Wrestling Hall of Fames are there? I mean, in baseball, you have 1 Hall of Fame. Maybe 2 with the Japanese Hall of Fame. Basketball, you have 1. Football, you have 1. I mean, I don't need 5 different Wrestling Hall of Fames. There may be one for New Japan. It's like, enough is enough.
I don't necessarily care about like the promotions doing their individual Hall of Fame, because to me that's the same as like the Electoral College, Taquan, absolutely. I don't necessarily care about the individual promotions doing it. To me, that's like your team with the Ring of Honors or the Hall of Fames for your individual team, right? Like we have the Cauliflower Alley Club, which is a legitimate wrestling Hall of Fame, but it does have pro wrestling people inducted into it, but it's also for actual wrestlers.
Mm-hmm.
Like you do have that, which to me, I think that one, which is in Iowa, to me, that one is kind of viewed and looked upon as like an actual Hall of Fame. So that would be like your Canton.
Yes, definitely. I can
or your
see that for
Naismith.
sure.
Yeah. So to me, I look at that as being the actual Hall of Fame for pro and actual sports entertainment wrestling, right?
Okay.
And then WWE, TNA, like to me, all those are just like your team Ring of Honors Hall of Fames that you
I never put it like that.
Get your name and number etched in. So
okay. You guys want to start Hall of Fame?
We can do that.
It's about just as
we might do that. We might put out a Dunmarks Hall of Fame this year. Yeah. I'm gonna induct myself as the first inductee.
The good old Chris Carter, baby. You made the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Just gonna show up next week with a gold jacket on. Now we're not gonna disrespect the Birdman like that. You can't just drop Coco Beware out of nowhere and disrespect the Birdman. Okay. So yeah. I don't. It's a big deal, I guess. I mean, people were hyping it up. I've only seen it in recent years just because of being on Twitter and other social medias. I didn't even know the Observer newsletter had a Hall of Fame prior to maybe 3 years ago. 3 years ago.
I didn't know until 8 minutes ago.
There you go. Well, I mean, it does make sense that the Young Bucks make it in this year, just because of it, But hey, it is what it is there. All right, so that was Wrestling Roulette number 2. Donald, what do you got?
Let's do number 1.
Number 1. All right. So it was reported this week that Scott D'Amore was visiting the WWE Performance Center. And we know that he also has had ties with AEW. So for Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling moving forward, we still don't know what they're going to be doing. They had one show. It was an amazing show, 2 nights. Is it best for business for D'Amore and Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling to tie into both AEW and WWE?
Yeah.
Yes.
I believe so.
Do you think he will eventually have to pick a side?
Yes.
No. Bloodsport doesn't have to, so he doesn't have to.
That's a good point. I didn't even think about Barnett's Bloodsport, which WWE has let people come in and participate in recently as well. For me, like, we still don't know what exactly is going on with Maple Leaf Pro, right? So if they're going to do a show every 2-3 months and make it a 2-night event, and you have wrestlers from different promotions coming in, cool, right? You had TNA, you had AEW. I know D'Amore was vital in bringing in CMLL to TNA before he left. So I'm sure they still have that relationship there as well. So if he's going to be like the hub for all these actual fantasy matchups, because you're getting WWE stars versus AEW stars versus CML stars, then by all means, more power to you. And you're only going to charge me $30 for 2 nights. I'm going to buy that every single time it comes on. Mm-hmm. That's just me speaking, right? But I want to know, I am curious to see kind of like what his end goal is. Does he just want to get TV deal in Canada? Like, is he just going to make it a Canadian focused promotion and run it a la like with super indie shows, right? Which we've seen done with other promotions in that regard. So I am curious in that regard as to what develops from Maple Leaf Pro. But hey, if he's there, not that a deal was struck or anything, but he was at the Performance Center. So if you're getting NXT talent involved and just giving them more dates to work other places,
that's good.
Yeah, that's good for developmental. Definitely. Yeah. And also with the announcement of these individuals that have been quote unquote ID'd, which is a big thing now. That it's the tweet of the week. It's so and so was ID'd, right?
It took over now.
If you're going to use that, then you can bring those people into your shows as well. Mm-hmm. So yes, you have NXT developmental talent, maybe some of the developmental talent that aren't on TV as much, right? That you can pull and use to get them extra reps. You're not necessarily bringing like Roxanne Perez or Cora Jade over for a Maple Leaf Pro show. You may, but if you're getting some of those names that are on TV as much to get extra reps, and you're also allowed to use these ID people, then to me, I think it's another avenue where things are best for business, and you're giving more people the chances to work. All right.
Yeah. Let them build a brand up, for the young development. Mm-hmm.
Why not? But like I said, I am curious to see what else comes about from Maple Leaf Pro because.
No, was he there when the partnership? Yeah, he was there when Jordan went to the Rumble, right?
Yep.
Or he was integral in that. So
yeah, I mean he was involved in it. I'm sure that was more of a like Tommy Dreamer, Gail Kim type of deal because they have. But I'm sure the more obviously he had to sign off on it.
So you already have that relationship. So
yeah, talks have been had before, right? So all right. So those are numbers 1 and 2 gone from the wrestling roulette wheel this week. We will jump back into that after we get through reviewing our Mount Rushmores this week. We're starting off positive because I got to feel there's a lot of negativity that can go around what we didn't like this week. So I will bring it up to you. I don't have a Mount Rushmore or a mush from Chris. He did give me his wrestling game edition for the Survivor Series theme. So we will get into that later on. But Jason, where are you at this week as far as Mount Rushmore?
I enjoy wrestling as a whole this week. Everything. I'll say like maybe NXT was the worst show to me this week, but I enjoyed everything. Okay. I'll start with the Pride between the promo Montez cut last Friday that didn't air on the show, that should have been on the show, and B-Fab showing out on SmackDown. That's a good little honorable mention. But my main one, I'll go with give me Gunther and Damian Priest.
I really enjoyed that segment.
It's shown Damian Priest's growth since the Judgment Day era, like beginning the All Rise and all that stuff. He's getting better on the mic, coming more into his own, and it's showing a vulnerable side of Gunther, something different.
That's the key, right? It's giving more character depth to Gunther than just this force in the ring that can't be beat. There's some character depth, and I like Damian doing the 8 Mile bit. He went out there like B-Rabbit. Yeah. I am street trash. Yeah, I am this. Yeah, I am that. Like, and Gunther's parents and his real name is Gunther, and his parents live together. You know what I mean? Like he hit the Eminem 8 Mile bit on him. Like, say what you want, but it's not going to make a difference. And there's those subtle chinks in the Gunther armor now. Even though Saudi lost was Saudi lost, and that's it's somewhat of another Saudi sometimes viewed as a completely different universe, right? Not necessarily, it's not canon, as Donald likes to say, to what WWE is and does on a regular basis. But a loss is a loss, and you lost to Cody. And now you had Damian interrupt you right off the bat, not even letting you speak. To me, yeah. And then there was trouble with him and Ludwig.
Yeah.
Like, yo, I'm stepping to you because you come out here. I don't need you out here. So, again, it's still showing that, like, where's Gunther at headspace-wise after a loss, after Damian calling him out, like, and Gunther on the mic as champ has been really enjoyable. Mm-hmm. So, continuing to hit the beats.
And you get in love with Mike Time. He's
Which is always a plus.
He's good on the mic, so yeah.
Now, is it necessarily making me want to run the Survivor Series to see the rematch? No. Do we have another week of build-up, another 2 weeks of build-up to get me to that point where I really want to see that rematch? Absolutely. But, I mean, Damian hit all the notes he needed to hit Monday night. Like, if it's not for Finn, I don't think you beat me. And, obviously, you lost to Cody. So, like, if you weren't going to beat me without help from Finn and you lost to Cody, I can definitely take your title off you. So we're good there. We're solid. Like, they're off and running in a good spot. It's just, can you get me over the hump and make me want to say, all right, that rematch is one that I need to see. So, all All right, so we got Gunther and Damian, but wrestling as a whole from Jay for Mount Rushmore this week. Donald, what say you for Mount Rushmore?
I actually was shocked that AEW put the protection on Takeshita not losing to Adam Cole, actually protecting him and the title. I was very, very shocked. I thought that they were just going to let Cole win so they could fight MJF, but they actually made a call and said, no, this guy, he's on a roll right now, so we're going to protect him, and made that call.
Once I see Strong win, I was like, here we go. Here we go. We all bullshit the whole show.
They I had a lot of problems with Wednesday night.
I did too.
Wednesday night.
Yeah, but just the call.
The title of this week's show, Make It Make Sense, is all about Wednesday night. Because there was a lot of stuff on there that made absolutely no sense. From a card when it was announced for Wednesday night that people were just over the moon hyping up on social media. It was one of the best cards ever. Look at all these 6 matches. This is going to be an amazing show. And we'll get into that. But
yeah.
So the call not to have Cole run through, okay, I can respect it. I can respect it.
You're more the protection of Takeshita.
I didn't like how it went, but I'm glad they made the right call.
Yeah, like, think the same thing. Yeah, like I didn't like how it went, but they made the right call with it.
They made the right call.
Mm-hmm.
They left the door open for the triple threat to still take place. Because Cole can come out and complain, hey, I went back and talked to Tony Khan. I got knocked out with a diamond ring. Like, you cheated.
You sound whiny.
He played his Karen card. Played the Karen card.
Yeah, so I hope they don't do that. I hope it is just Roddy and MJF and whatever like that is, even though I don't know why that would be thrown on the full gear card, but
exactly.
So all right, so the protection of Takeshita as champ is your Mount Rushmore this week.
Mm-hmm.
Not bad. For me, it was the ending of SmackDown last night. The Bloodline. Ending of SmackDown. I'm like, the tie Monday night, you have, all right, who can we get? Sammy going to Seth blindly and saying, hey, after everything was just like mind-boggling to me, right? Like, why would you even step to this man and ask him?
True.
After everything, right? And then the Bloodline going to Seth and saying, hey, and Seth's retort to Solo. Solo's hitting his groove right now. I feel like Solo's in a great place.
Yeah.
But Solo getting hype and then Seth hitting him with the knockoff Roman Reigns and his expression immediately changing popped me. Like, I'm like, this is so good. And then you saw Jimmy go to Braun and holler at Braun. And you saw Jay in the background of the interview segment talking to Rey Mysterio. So I'm like, okay, they're kind of cooking, trying to figure out who's going to be this 5th member. And outside of Braun, Seth and Ray had ties to the Bloodline, the OG Bloodline, and had to, overcome those and get taken out and everything else, right? So good storytelling there. They come to Friday. You got them searching around the locker room on Friday. Where we at? Where we going? Yep. Then you get the face off. At first, I'm like, don't touch. I don't need Jens Ford to touch prior to War Games. Like, do not ruin that moment. But then it happened, and I was like, oh, this works. And it worked because you brought in Bronson Reed. You brought in the monster who's been built up as such for 2-3 months now. He's credible now. He has credibility. He's been there with people. He's taken out people.
Mm-hmm.
And him and Jacob standing next to each other, you want to talk about a beefy, meaty tag team that I need to see together? Oh, you throw them two together. Or later on down the line when Jacob's a face and you got Bronson as a heel, yeah, give me that too as a one-on-one beefy, meaty men slapping meat match. So I'll take that. But the kicker, the cherry on top of the Sunday for the weekly Bloodline segment that tied everything together, Jay make the call, Oos. And then we get Roman in the locker room, beaten, battered, ribs busted up, going to Old Faithful. Call the wise man. And you hear the doo-doo-doo. Let me tell you, from a person that has done sales calls before and worked in the sales business, when you hear the doo-doo-doo, you get that certain feeling like, oh, I got played. I just lost out on a sale. This money's not coming in. When he heard the doo-doo-doo and his face changed and then just dropped the phone, man, let's go. Let's go. Where we at? We got 2 more weeks. Where we at? How we going to play this out?
The ending brought me back. Because Monday, I was just like, why are we searching for a 4th? This is getting clownish.
5th.
Or a 5th. Why are we searching for a 5th? They don't even have a 5th. You could have introduced somebody as a 5th and then had them searching for a 5th. And I was like, we're doing this. Meanwhile, the women are over here just organically. You just made a board game.
NXT, yeah. Out of NXT, you just made a war game match.
That's been playing throughout the whole thing, and we didn't even realize. And here it is, first for a 5th man. I was like, Then Reed came out. And I was like, okay, I'm with this. And then everything that played out after that, I was like, yeah, I'm back.
So I saw Busted Open was talking Bully and Dave, and Bully said after Monday, the only way that a 5th member is not hokey is if you have Cody join. Obviously, this is played out way before last night, right? Mm-hmm. So I will be curious to hear what Bully and Dave have to say after SmackDown with Bronson joining the fold. But he said the only way a 5th member is not a hokey, just like trying to fit square peg into a round hole, is if you have Cody join the OG bloodline, because him and Roman partnered before. So they're back to joining forces again. And The Rock is the 5th member for the new bloodline. Mm. So that's the only way a 5th member works. Yeah. Other than that, it just doesn't. It's putting a 5th member to have a 5th member.
Yeah.
Now what Bronson does is Bronson brings Seth back into the fold.
When Bronson came out, I was like, don't bring Braun back in. Braun Strowman.
I don't know how. I don't know how you get to. I don't know how you get to Seth actually accepting it and doing it. Mm. There were clips going around of Seth in interviews and whatnot saying Roman's always going to be a brother, this, that, and the other. Like, it would need to be the Friday night before Survivor Series. This is how I would book it if I had the pen, right? Monday, this upcoming Monday, you have, them reaching back out to Seth again. Look, Bronson's here, right? Building up on that. SmackDown, reaching out to Seth again, nothing. Calling the wise man again, nothing, right? When you get to that Friday night before Survivor Series, OG Bloodline still has no 5th member. And we end the show with Roman coming out of the locker room and Seth is standing there right at the door. And they look at each other and they turn around, walk into the locker, and the door closes and you fade to black. So you still have no idea what's going on. The only other option, and this is going to be controversial if you do it one of 2 ways. The only other option is the wise man gets found. But we don't know that Roman's had the conversation with the wise man. And it's Survivor Series. The 4 of them are in the cage. The heels have the advantage. So it's 5-on-4. No 5th member. And all of a sudden, the wise man walks out. Ladies and gentlemen, the whole thing, blah, blah, blah. I am the advocate for, and he either says CM Punk or Brock Lesnar.
I say Brock Lesnar.
Lesnar has ties to Reigns and the bloodline and everything else. We know their history. We know what they've done. Punk would be doing it as a favor to Paul. and we can get that conversation and that hashed out later on. So to me, this fifth member boils down to three options.
Yeah.
Seth, Punk, Lesnar. Cody's off the table because The Rock's not joining as the fifth member.
Yeah.
So you got Seth, Punk, Lesnar. Out of those three, who would you want to see be the fifth member for the OG Bloodline?
Oh, there's a fourth too. You got to call the Superstation.
We're going to get into that. We will get into that. I had Seth be petty and force Roman ask him directly. Yeah, Roman got to grovel.
Yeah.
Roman got to grovel. If Seth is going to join, regardless of Seth's hatred for Bronson, and as much as them two have gone at it, and as much as they've been, Bronson costing him the opportunity for the title match against Gunther, the match, the beatdowns, the brawls, everything. As much as that hate for Bronson is there, Roman's going to have to grovel to get Seth to join.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's how I'm feeling.
For me, I'll take Brock, just because Brock has the ties to the Wiseman and the Bloodline and all that stuff. CM Punk has ties to the Wiseman, but he doesn't have ties to the Bloodline. If I recollect, so it wouldn't fit. For me, it wouldn't fit.
Well, what if it fits? What if it fits? If it's because Heyman would come out and introduce himself as the advocate for CM Punk. Not that CM Punk needs the advocate. He doesn't need Heyman, but I'm just trying to throw this out there storyline wise moving forward. Paul talks to Punk. He comes out, announces Punk. Punk comes in, join, babyfaces win, right? Roman then goes to Paul. Hey, what's the deal? Your number changed. Haven't been able to find you, etc., etc. And Paul goes, I didn't hear from you whenever I was taken out by Solo and the New Bloodline. Where was my tribal chief at then? My tribal chief wasn't around. My tribal chief didn't care about the Wise Man. Tribal chief didn't want anything to do with the Wise Man. I was in the hospital for 3 months. I didn't get a single phone call from the tribal chief. But you know who did reach out to me? CM Punk. You know who did come see me in the hospital? CM Punk. And we get Heyman back aligned with Punk. And then that could filter into Punk and Roman.
My thing is, if you get Brock in here, it just feels too OP, too overpowered. You got Roman and Brock, bunch of
but it's war games. Yeah, but it's war games though. Roman will be like Goku, all of his friends were his enemies at one point.
Look, all I'm saying is that they have me hooked with storyline, and I have no idea which way they're going to go.
Yeah,
which is going to do what? It's going to make me want to tune in on Monday night and on Friday night until the pay-per-view to see what's going to happen. But if I were them, I know they did it last year with leaving it open, although Randy was the guy last year. Everybody knew it was going to be Orton, right? But they didn't actually say it, but everybody knew it was going to be Orton. Like, I don't necessarily like going back-to-back years with not having the fifth man be named. But at the same time, like, you can do it to where it works and you get a bigger pop. Man, Tonga Loa continues to just botch stuff last night. Did you see him trying to throw Reigns into the pillar? He didn't know if he was going to throw him back in the ring. He started everything else. Roman had to tell him, no, do this reversal. Like,
just slap an eye patch back on him.
I swear it's his gimmick.
It has to, please. It have to be. They can't be in the back and be like, God damn, how do we hire this man?
Yeah. The other thing that I really like this week, again, it was storyline. I brought it up last week, but the Final Testament in the Wide Six. You hit me with the swerve this week. I did not peg Miz to be in cahoots with the Final Testament to draw out the Wide Six. You had a beatdown, and then Cross's face when Bo Dallas is leaning on the bottom rope, just laughing at him after getting his ass whooped. It's like, okay, we're cooking here, right? Like,
you need to.
Yeah. This is a mid card feud, that I can get invested in and want to see. So, but yeah, kudos to storyline this week. Although there were plenty of in-ring matches, I was super high on Cedric and Wes.
That was good.
From an in-ring standpoint.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed that match. Jay, you brought up B-Fab in the triple threat last night. I thought that looked good and came off good. So yeah, there was a lot going on this week in-ring wise that I liked.
Yeah.
So yeah.
All right. Also throwing them Julia Hart vignettes.
That was good.
Yes.
That was
my number one until the ending of SmackDown last night.
Yeah.
The vignette from Saturday and the vignette from Wednesday night. Cross needs to be cooking my fries.
Yeah, Julia Hart's vignette was very good.
Now I don't like how they did the vignette Wednesday night. Just immediate, like you're cutting out Jamie. You just cut out Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, where was his place?
I was just sitting here like waiting, like go for your title back. Yeah.
But yeah, no, those vignettes. The girl that produced those, and I forgot to bookmark the tweet, so I give her a shout out. I'll go back through and see if I can find it again. But I don't know where she got her cinematography degree from, but those were movie horror-esque trailers that were done for Julia Hart. And Wednesday nights was probably one of the best things from a vignette standpoint that AEW has ever done.
Yes.
Like it was.
I've seen it. Yes, it was.
I will say they killed from the vignette aspect.
They normally do, right? But that was so over and above that I immediately put that as like top 3 things AEW has ever produced from a vignette standpoint, because that was just phenomenal. Her holding the phone, talking to Brody, and then looking at the cord. I was like, oh, okay, this is get ready to grab popcorn.
Yeah, they had that psychological horror going on. Like I was watching Sinister.
Yeah, man, it was good. Kudos all around there. All right, so there's your Mount Rushmores this week for the World of Pro Wrestling. Hit us up in the comments. Let us know who would be your Mount Rushmore of the week this week. Before we get into mushes, let's jump back into 2 more topics from the Wrestling Roulette Wheel. Donald, I'll throw it to you. 3, 4, 5, or 6?
Give me number 6.
All right, number 6. The University of Minnesota announced Gable Stevenson will return to wrestle for his final year of eligibility and go for his 3rd NCAA title.
Good.
The man is like 30 years old, and he still has a year of eligibility left.
Okay.
He failed out of wrestling. He got cut in football, and now you have the audacity to go back to college wrestling just to get another title. Are you kidding me right now? Good move, bad move, don't care.
At to this point, it don't care.
Good move for him, but yeah.
If you were Gable Stevenson and you had all these other avenues just kind of wash out after you were just on highs of an Olympic gold medal and everything else, would you go back to collegiate wrestling?
They messed out not sending him to NXT.
Be the big fish in small water.
Yeah.
Big fish in small water there. He need to move on. He just need to move on.
He's trying to find prey. Yeah, we're not going to touch that subject with him, Taquan, but
if you do want to get back into wrestling, hit the indie scene. I mean, you got a little name on yourself or something. They build up that way.
Tag with your brother.
Yeah, because
I just
can't come
had
back to NXT. You can't come back to NXT.
Sidebar: I just had a notification pop up on my phone. There was an 800K field goal for Pat McAfee on game day.
Didn't know
and
that.
a Georgia student picked somebody else to kick it for them. I got to go back and watch this after the show. But 800K? Somebody just won 800K on game day?
Game day. Pat just be throwing the money out there, boy. Hey,
they come here and you count to them.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know how they got up to 800K. Like,
how
did they get to that point?
140,
right? Like, All right. All right, Jay, pick a number of we got 3, 4, or 5.
4.
Speedball Mike Bailey was removed from TNA's official roster page this week. All reports say he's going to AEW. And the reason why everybody is speculating that to be the case is because if he was NXT bound, he would not have necessarily been needed to be written off of TNA television and be removed from their roster. So, Speedball Mike Bailey in AEW. Right move for him. Excited to see it. What are your thoughts?
Yes and no.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it, but there's a lot of people just like him who are not getting pushed.
That's the down.
So he's just going to be one of the guys.
Just one of the guys there.
But AEW, you'll fit in. That's your style of wrestling. So,
it's a style of wrestling, but I hope he develops another character too. You know how we always talk about gimmicks down at AEW. Like he could be Speedball Mike Bailey there for a bit, but you're going to have to develop.
And he stood out in TNA as that because they had people that could go with him in the ring. Presentation-wise, look-wise, and everything else, he stood out in that regard, right? But yeah, if he comes to AEW, it's him, it's Ricochet, it's Ospreay, it's Dante Martin, it's you can just
Fletcher, and you just keep going, yeah.
Yeah.
All the
Swerve,
luchadors,
Leo Rush, like
all the luchadors, top
Commander, Hologram, like we just rattled off a list of maybe 7 or 8 names just off the top of our heads right now to where it's like
Penta Phoenix when they come back.
What are you gonna do, right? Like, so I don't know. I mean, look, I'm a fan of Speedball. I like Speedball. I think in-ring wise, his look and his gear and how he goes about things is different. It stands out. But what can you do to separate yourself other than maybe having a TBS title run?
Yeah.
Like, you don't look at him and go, oh, there's the next world champ.
No.
Even in TNA, I didn't look at him and go, oh, he's a world champ. But we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I will say NXT is doing a good job of mixing styles. Not mixing styles, but you're getting small guys versus big guys. Every match is not a luchador versus luchador, big man versus big man. So they're having they're doing good mixing the roster. Yeah, and AEW, he'll just sit stuck in that same cycle of Commander and
Hologram, and he'll be on Rampage for 10 weeks in a row.
His weight title.
And his main event will be main event in Collision. You know.
I mean, I'm hoping the best for him, honestly, but
same here.
You know, I don't know necessarily if it was the right call per se. So, all right, let's get into the mushes of the week. Talked about the positive. Let's get into the negative. Jay, where you want to start for your mush of the week?
Is the Superstation on anybody's?
There's something from the Superstation, but not the Superstation.
I'm gonna give it to Netflix. Netflix dropped the ball last night. You better get this ready before football because you want to piss some people off. Mess up football
on Christmas.
On Christmas.
Mess up football
on Christmas.
You better find a way to get this right. You could have started with something smaller.
Now, those 4 local teams will get it locally on our channels and that stuff, but the rest of the nation got to go Netflix, and that's more than what that boxing will bring in.
So when I tuned in, I saw the intro package, and then I saw them pan in, and man, the view was just like crisp, like it made my TV look better than what it was, better than Peacock, better than USA. I was like, we're good. Tweeted, logged out.
It's one of those tweets that aged poorly.
Aged poorly. I didn't even hear Morrow talk. I saw the picture, and I was like, "We're good. I'm out."
Yeah, my cousin was going over his buddy's house to watch it, and I was like, "Do I want to tune in? Do I not want to tune in? Like, it's a complete farce and whatever, car crash. All right, I'll hop in." So I got in right before the women's. I waited till it was after 10 o'clock. It was right around. It was right before the women's fight was supposed to come on. So I tune in. I hit watch live. It comes up, and I see the package for Paul and Tyson, and then I hear whoever the woman was that was announcing talking about the women's fight, and then all of a sudden it just went black. And I'm like, oh man, here we go. And then the red circle came up. And for those of you that are old enough on your Xbox, if you got that red circle, it was the red circle of death. You knew what was happening. And it just kept spinning and spinning and spinning on 79%, just spinning and spinning and spinning. So after about 3 minutes, I was like, I'm done. I hopped out. Went on Twitter, everybody. Hashtag buffering was trending. Hashtag Netflix sucks. Whatever.
Dial up.
Yeah, dial up. Yeah. So I hop back in again. I hop back in for a second time, and it wouldn't even go above 23% the second time.
And that was it. You knew that was it.
Yeah.
So once I got to that, I'm like, nope, that just made my decision. I'm cool. I'm not going to do it. Hop back out. My cousin texts me. My cousin texts me at about 10 to 11. Back on. So I'm like, all right. Went back in again. This time it was on 73% and just kept spinning and spinning and spinning. And I'm like, nope, not doing it. But yeah, that while it may have been a dry test run and parts of it look good, everything that I saw this morning was negative. Every single thing was negative. Not even negative in the fact that Mike Tyson should not have been fighting Jake Paul and the fact that it went to a decision and everything else. But
the production,
everything was on Netflix and how they made it the worst sporting event ever to watch. And that is no bueno when you have the Steelers and the Chiefs Christmas Day, and then you got Raw going live on Monday nights starting in January.
Who else is on? Is it the Ravens and Titans?
the Ravens and somebody are on there too. Yeah,
Titans. Or no, that's Titans and Texans. That's
because that's the night game.
Profile games.
Yeah,
High
you got possibly 4 playoff teams.
Yes.
Now, will the Steelers and Chiefs draw as many people who are on Netflix for the fight? I don't know. But NFL averages
NFL.
over
NFL.
10 million people per game, and that's me lowballing their average, right? You throw on Steelers, Chiefs, Christmas, everybody off, everybody around, like, yeah, you're going to have upwards of 20, 25 million, maybe close to 30 at some point in time tuning in to watch that game on Netflix. Got to get it straightened out because this was not good.
Yeah.
The only highlight was the women, and even that was
you better call Prime and figure out how they fixed it with their NFL stuff.
But Prime, remember, Prime starting out, theirs was shaky too in the beginning.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said. You better call them and figure it out.
Peacock is still shaky.
Prime, you were looking like you were watching it in standard definition. They couldn't get their HD to work for nothing. I was like, man, Cedric. They said Cedric the Entertainer was dressed like the Nigerian email scammer.
Kofi Jofa. You want to talk about the worst lineup commentators?
That was the first time I saw Rosie Perez since White Man Can't Jump. It was.
You already know I hate Morrow. Roy Jones talked like he got hit too many times, and then you had Rosie Perez just spouting random facts.
Now, Rosie has done boxing in the past.
Yeah.
So this is not the very first time she's done boxing. Yeah. She has called boxing events before. Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, that was, look, hey, listen, at least it ain't cost nobody money.
Yeah.
Because if this would have been where you had to pay on Bleacher Report, and we all know how AEW failed on Bleacher Report with their pay-per-views and that crashing all the time. If you would have had people cough up $100 for this and that app would have did what it did, your stock would have tanked next day. You'd have been out of business. So, yeah, Netflix being the mush of the week overall, and just that, yeah, that's a good call there. Mm-hmm. Donald, who you got mush of the week?
I got 2. 1B would be the NXT tag division. That brawl and all of them in that room made me not care about the NXT tag division.
It was
I mean, it was terrible. They had that brawl at the end. I was like, oh, who are these people and why?
Let the
Like,
ladies shine.
it's like I knew who they were, but I was like, why? This ain't getting me excited for no tournament or who's the best or whatever they're going to do for the titles. So that was 1B. My 1A, it comes from the Superstation. The burial of Camille just keeps going on and on and on. I mean, how many times? This is what, week 3 in a row?
I am trying to spin it.
You took the brick house and made her a straw house.
Yeah.
Blow your house down.
As much as they say you need to know your wrestler, you need to know the history, you need to know these people when they come in. It's like the way they're booking her is they're trying to make you forget who she was. Like she had a clean slate coming in. No. This is
came in strong. Yeah.
So like the way the story's playing out, this would have worked for any other person, not the brick house. Because like you're working toward the eventual turn. You can see it coming.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Not for the brick house.
Yeah. Because when she came in on AEW, she was stronger than the world. Strong as ever. And then the past 3 weeks, she looked like nothing. She don't look like the brick house at all, like Steve said.
No. And you're watching the counterparty do exactly what they needed to do with her in Zarya. You're seeing it played out. That's the presentation for Camille. Bully said this initially, way back when.
Mm-hmm.
You signed her back in February. You've kept her off TV till what, July, August?
Mm-hmm.
Make you forget.
And now everybody that loved Camille and everything that she did, 800-plus day reign as NWA Women's Champ, everything gone in a span of 3 weeks. Gone. Just gone. And can we please, wrestling promotions out there, do not put up the fake wall.
Yeah. Enough with the drywall. Like, enough with it. Enough with the drywall, please.
It's not believable. It looks terrible. It don't matter how you shoot it. We know it's a fake wall. Just stop. Okay? There's no reason why Mercedes would get flung into a cement wall or Statlander would get flung into a cement wall on the right side of the hallway and then be able to spear somebody through a wall on the left side of the hallway.
2-step.
Yeah.
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 2-step.
Yeah.
She ran
You had a shorter distance in a 9x9 jail cell, but yet she managed to put her through the wall.
They were fighting in the phone box.
She had that octagon foot on the fence, you know, that quick push off.
Bro, bad.
Very bad.
Since you brought up Camille, and specifically that, my mush of the week was AEW. Dynamite as a whole show made no sense. Made 0 sense at all. Everything that you did, nothing made sense. Nothing at all. I'm going to go back to the tweets from Wednesday. I'm just going to go back. To what I tweeted out Wednesday.
My main mush is in there. My main mush has to be in there.
Right.
My main mush.
We're gonna just bring up everything.
Yeah, just run it down because
So we'll just go from the beginning of the show, right? The opening tag match was good, but it was a tag match for tag match sakes. It made 0 sense. It didn't elevate anything as far as a feud standpoint goes for Hangman and Jay White.
No.
Juice and Cage have nothing going on. And then you get a run-in from Hook, Nick Wayne, and Mama Wayne. So that's run-in number 1. Okay, great.
Run-in number 1, 3 people. Running counter.
Then you get Ospreay and Kyle Fletcher. Great promo segment. Great promo. Love the passion between both guys. Personal issue. Made sense. Made me want to connect with it. Then you know what you did to ruin it?
Oh, the screwdriver was good too. I was stuck in the mat.
Yeah, he didn't plan that.
He didn't plan that. That was.
But then what do you do to ruin it? You do another run-in with Lance Archer and Cage, and then Hobbs and who else, right? Another run-in,
Hobbs and
right?
yeah, Cage. Archer and
So not only so you have the run in, you have the brawl clear out, and then what? While people are brawling, Roderick Strong's music plays for his match with Lance Archer. And Lance gets taken out at the top of the ramp. They fight into the tunnel where it's pitch black, and all you hear Excalibur say, "Oh, Roderick Strong goes through a table." What table? It's pitch black.
You can't see anything.
You can't see nothing. What are we doing?
The 5 run-ins? Yeah, the 5 counter. 3, 2.
So then after that match ends, what happens? Adam Cole runs out.
Oh.
Looking like the villain from Sin City, all orangish glow. just glowed up for no reason. You want to talk about poor spray tans with MJF? That shit Cole put on Wednesday night was horrible, especially because it was only on the front side of his body.
Look, you asked for the show to flow. It flowed.
It flowed with no sense at all.
AEW didn't give you no time to breathe. No time. They was a gorilla like, go.
So you had Cole run out for Takeshita, but Archer and Cage are standing out there still. So you're just gonna let Cole run in the ring and that match go off without a hitch, and you and Cage just walk back to catering. Why would you not beat up Cole first? What?
Hey Adam, how's it going? Okay, we'll see you later.
Takeshita wins, and what happens? Roderick Strong runs in. And then you get another run in by Cage and Archer. And who comes out? Kyle O'Reilly for God knows why basketball reasons. With a chair. Another run in. So we're just run in city. Nothing is making sense. Nothing at all.
You're trying to tease the EU reunion.
And then did you see Ricochet beat up Takeshita at the top of the ramp? He holds the belt up and they cut him away. And then they cut away from him holding the title.
I literally tweeted out, can we get a show without 77 run-ins? It makes no sense and doesn't mean anything.
They was like, God damn, we about to give away the ending to Full Gear. Cut away.
After that, you have the takeover of the TBS. Takeover of TBS. It wasn't a takeover, it was a promo. Mox literally walked in and cut a promo.
It was every other segment they have. How do you announce this and then let it go off? I was thinking when it came, I was thinking oh, this is going to be aired footage of something that happened. No.
This is NWLS. This is taking over production trucks. This is beating down people. This is dropping dropping the AEW graphic from the Titantron and putting up Death Riders. This is a takeover.
And commentators still commentating. No. Kill all it. Kill everything. You pull up in the truck and just walk in.
This is a promo.
With his music hitting and everything, just like it's normal.
And then what happens? We get Darby Allin flying in from the crowd.
Another.
And not only that, but Jon Moxley, the man that's going to just kill everybody and take everybody. I'm Moxley and I'm this bad tough guy. The first time things get tough, what do? You run out of the arena. The only thing good about that segment was Claudio hopping out of the back of the truck, picking Darby Allin's ass up, and Superman swinging him into the gate. That was it. So again, none of that makes sense. Is Darby Allin the challenger to Moxley, or is Orange Cassidy? Because right now Orange Cassidy's with the match, and Orange Cassidy, all he did was stood at the top of the ring talking about, we're gonna wrestle. I don't care if you're wearing the darkest black denim that's ever been made to man. I don't buy you as a credible person.
I still got a prediction on that. I still do. I'm holding on to it. I still got a prediction.
And then you have the vignette cut in. Love the vignette. I hate that you just automatically cut out Jamie Hayter. For what? Oh, so Julia Hart's coming back to go against Jamie Hayter? Why? What's the reason there?
Mm-hmm.
Hayter was out when Julia Hart got injured. Why are you going after that?
Again, going to stall both their momentums.
Right?
It makes no sense.
Britt Baker and Penelope Ford. Hey, thanks for burying Penelope Ford after she's been back. She lost to Jamie Hayter and Britt Baker. Good job.
And the match was bad.
Match was bad. Britt looks uninterested. Britt
Yes.
does not look like Britt Baker. And you want to know what she does? Tell me how much sense this makes. Serena Deeb, surprise, surprise, comes out after the match. And you want to know what Britt Baker does? Stands in the ring with the camera directly on her and says, "Nobody cares." Directly to Serena Deeb 4 times in a row. You're burying the person that's come out. Literally saying nobody cares 4 times in a row. Why? 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 Make it make sense. Lashley attacking Swerve. Okay, guess what? That was another run-in after a match.
Mm-hmm. And
Now that one made some sense.
It made sense.
That one was the one that made sense.
It made sense, but it happened though. It happened already. It happened last week.
It doesn't make sense whenever I've seen your entire catering roster run out and do run-ins prior to that one.
It's just brawls for no reason.
Was that the main event?
Swerve and Rush?
Swerve and Rush, was that the main?
No.
FTR,
was thinking it was
FTR.
Yeah. Okay.
A match that didn't have no run-ins.
You just have a season in the middle of the show and just keep on going with the show. Like that's how you end the show. Like
that's what I thought too. Whenever I was watching it, I was like, "Oh, Swerve and Lita Rush is ending this." You know how it is. I looked at the timer. I was like, "Damn, there's still 20 minutes left in the show."
I thought Moxley was going to end the show. He showed up in the middle. So you end with a tag match?
A tag match that's going to be fatal 4-way for the tag belts. You know, because we got to get everybody on the pay-per-view.
I don't understand it. And afterwards, people were talking about that show like it was the greatest Dynamite AEW's ever put on.
No, it wasn't.
No.
What are you doing?
I enjoyed it match-wise, but laying out the story, though, there was a few things that just, like this, the Superstation takeover. Yeah, that might have been my biggest.
DJ, you put B-Fab on your mush?
Nah, no, she's grown leaps and bounds.
I thought she had a good showing in the triple threat last week. But yeah, AEW, my mush of the week, man. That was brutal, Bob Evans.
I have no idea what they're doing. I really don't.
Just the transitions between segments would have been enough to put you on mush of the week. With just like it's like you took Vince Russo's chaotic Attitude Era Raw booking and the worst of WCW, and you say, you know what? We're gonna Mega Powers combined. We're gonna go out there and throw all that shit together in a pot, and that's Dynamite for the week. That's literally what it was. It was chaos for chaos' sake, and none of it made sense.
Catering to your attention span.
And that does nothing to make me want to stay and watch the show.
No.
It does
so
nothing.
much forget about shit.
It does nothing that makes me want to join the show the following week.
Let it breathe.
Terrible. All right, that's enough mushes of the week. I'm hopping off my rant soapbox. My blood pressure is up too high already after that because that was just god awful. So, all right, before we get into the game and the go home for the show, let's finish up with the last 2 topics for the Wrestling Roulette Wheel this week. Donald, what you got? 4 or 5?
3 or 5.
Or 3 or 5?
5.
5. AJ, the Costco guy who brings the boom, is having a match on Full Gear against QT Marshall in the 0 Hour. And here's what he had to say regarding the door being open for more matches in AEW. I think there's going to be more. Things have to line up, and hey, the audience has to want more. Let's start with that. What I promise you is I'm bringing the booms that the audience is going to want more of. I absolutely love the way AEW has handled everything to this point. It would be an honor to do more matches with AEW. Is this guy really bringing in eyeballs to AEW? And why? Like, I understand he has somewhat of an independent wrestling career, but why is this guy getting time on, even though it is on a kickoff show before pay-per-view, why is he on the show?
Was that him last time with his son in the audience doing the boom in the not boom or whatever? That's where we need to stay. You don't need to be having a match.
I don't even know who you're talking about. So we can move on to the next question. I don't. I have no idea who this dude is.
You saw it. We were just there like, who is this guy? Why is he doing this?
It's the pro wrestling. It's the pro wrestling taking the hottest flavor of the month, the latching on to the 15 minutes of fame that somebody has to draw eyeballs to pro wrestling, that we've seen throughout time.
Gotcha.
But
instead of getting Logan Paul, you have the boom guy.
Okay, gotcha. Shoot, I'm still looking for Warhorse to get his All Elite graphic. Because remember, he was the hottest.
He was number one in the Where Are They Now? I watched yesterday.
I wouldn't even call him a celebrity at this point. Like, it's a TikTok. It's a TikTok person who got fame because America is stupid and lets people just stands out there and go, we got the boom. That's what we do. We got the boom.
We got clipping it with Chris.
Somehow or another, that person is on Jimmy Fallon on late night TV. He's getting like, I'm gonna come out with something else. I don't know. Maybe I'll bring back the Truffle Shuffle and shake my belly. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But if this mother bleeper can end up on Jimmy Fallon and an AEW pay-per-view and make millions of dollars, something is wrong.
When I just keep scrolling.
Just put him in a tag with Adam Cole calling the Undisputed Boom. That may be the line of that may be the quote of the week from DJ there. So apparently AJ got help from Sanjay. Then Sanjay Dutt needs fired. That's the case. All right. Last topic for the Wrestling Roulette Wheel this week. The Rock was asked in an interview this week if you had to tell somebody that's never watched wrestling before one show to watch, which show would it be? And The Rock said WrestleMania 1. Is WrestleMania 1 the show that you should be telling somebody who's never seen wrestling before to sit down and watch to get them to become a fan of wrestling?
In this current time, no.
No.
I get why he said it. The pop and circumstance, the celebrity tie-ins, the crowd was bananas, everything. Taquan said WrestleMania 17.
That's what I would say too, because it had a variety of everything.
I think 17 would pretty much be standard across the board for everybody, for somebody that's never watched wrestling before. Maybe the first All In.
I was thinking that too.
They came up against the time crunch there at the end, so I had to rush like the Young Bucks match with Ray and Bandito and all that. But
which pay-per-view was the one where Cody destroyed the throne?
That was, I think, the first Revolution. I think that one was.
Okay, I would say that.
Or Double or Nothing.
I would say that too.
Yeah, I don't know. WrestleMania 1, 1980. No. Whatever it was, I don't know if that's 85. The one that you throw out there now.
No.
All right, there's our mushes of the week and Wrestling Roulette. So let's jump into the game this week, which is Survivor Series theme. Donald, throw it up there. If Chris put it in.
Yeah.
All right. So With Survivor Series around the corner, create your all-time Survivor Series team with the caveat being 3 men and 2 women. So which team of 3 men, 2 women will be your 5 to survive? And I will read off Chris's first since he sent it over. His Survivor Series team is Cena, Stone Cold, Rock, China, and Rhea are his 5 to survive. So what do you got? All-time Survivor Series team, 3 men, 2 women. China and Rhea is the night. That's good picks on the women's side.
Mm-hmm.
And again, we're not pulling from other promotions, etc. Right? This is
all
Survivor
WWE.
Series is all WWE based, right? And it's all time, so it's not you're not stuck with eras and whatnot, right? If you guys need more time to think about it, I'll throw mine out there.
Go ahead.
I'm going Trish, Mercedes, Eddie Guerrero, Shawn Michaels, Kurt Angle. I'm going all technical wrestling.
Real technical, yeah. You want a real technical match.
But they'll survive though.
No
Look,
brawlers. I'm going all in-ring wrestling ability here.
As soon as you said it, all I wanted was brother on the promo and Warrior walking around in circles. That's all I wanted. I didn't even care about the match. I just wanted that little 5-man promo package in the back. Damn. Give me. Give me Seth, HBK, The Rock, Charlotte, and Mercedes.
Give me Mercedes, China, HBK, Mr. Perfect, and Hogan. Because I know at the end Hogan will Hulk up and he will beat everybody.
You got the contingency plan.
Yes, I do.
So we got Orton, Cena, Triple H, Becky, and Rhea. That's a good team. I'm not mad at that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, he broke it down the years.
So HBK, Lita, Trish, Ziggler, and Orton. That's not a bad team either. Yeah. So all time, I had this broken out in regards to.
I might have to throw this 2K simulator.
I had it broken out just for like star power. I had it broken out for technical. I had it broken out for the big immovable men match, right? I had Undertaker, Lesnar, Big Show, China, and probably Jay Cargill. Just for my immovable force team. Yeah, I had it all out there. I even had a jobber one, which is like Brooklyn Brawler, Barry Horowitz, Doink, Doink, Natty, and somebody else. But yeah, so there's our game this week. Hit us up on social media as far as what your all-time Survivor Series team would be.
Give me Dink, El Torrio, Gilbert, and two Godfather's hoes.
Anything else as far as final thoughts this week for the show?
Do you have the Bloodsport card?
No, but I saw Marina Shafir and who was it, Jody Threat get announced for the women.
Is Shafir gonna carry the briefcase around?
Yeah, she should.
Yeah.
Charlie Dempsey and somebody, and I think it's MVP and Josh Barnett.
Okay. This is the MVP back in the gym.
Yeah. I mean, that leg was looking kind of gimping in promos, but he still can go.
That's just for show. See how he be kicking Nana, you know?
I didn't know if he had that Big Show leg or not.
Yeah. AEW announced that AEW announced that ROH in December and Collision will be live from the Hammerstein Ballroom December 20th and 21st. Right call going to the smaller venue. I think we've said that before, that Hammerstein should be one of the venues for AEW. I don't necessarily like that it's for ROH and Collision. Like, to me, that should have been like
that's
Full Gear, whatnot, right?
Yeah.
So, but I think it's a good move by putting them there. As far as that goes, hopefully they sell out and it'll be packed in a rabid crowd, but we'll see how that goes. And then Kenny Omega did some interviews this week and basically said what I brought up last week as far as his return being in New Japan and not AEW, and said that he owes a debt to New Japan for allowing him to become a star. He doesn't want to take away a TV spot from somebody in AEW, and he doesn't think AEW needs him right now.
No, they need
any issues with the logic.
I like the spin. I like it. Yeah.
Spin there, boy. I don't know, man. Like, that's to say that AEW don't need you right now. That's I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Don't know. Like, kind of rough there in that regard. All right. Anything else?
Can we please stop spoiling pre-tape shows, you assholes out there?
Thank you.
Just a note.
Thank you. Yeah.
Everybody need to be the source.
Yeah. So
Everybody's the architect and matrix.
yeah. All right. Well, if there's nothing else, again, thanks for tuning in to episode 214 of Dunmark's podcast. Make it make sense. As always, follow us on all social media platforms at Dunmark's Pod. Email the show at dunmarkspod@gmail.com. Head on over to prowrestlingtees.com/DunmarksPod. Pick up some merch. We'll give you a live shout out on air. Taekwon, I think there's a guy that comes from up north. He just sent me a text, said that he will be picking up your shirt and having it delivered to you on a certain day soon. So once that big jolly fat man from up north comes in the red suit and sleigh, you will be getting your shirt there coming up. So
getting cold.
It is getting
Christmas. His ass out of here.
With that being said, thanks again for tuning in. And this week's quote of the week is, go ahead and put up those Christmas decorations. Nothing makes sense anyways. Go ahead and put up those Christmas decorations. Nothing makes sense anyways. Thanks again for tuning in to episode 214. I'm a Mark, you're a Mark, Telemark. Until next time, y'all can catch us around the way.